Hi there, and welcome back to Number One Geek. Now, have you ever thought, this airport I'm at is absolutely rubbish, I could do a better job? Well now, with this early development game, Airport CEO, available on Steam, you can. You can show them just exactly how you do it. So, let's take no further ado. First things first, this is going to be a tutorial on how to start up without using the tutorial.
Attention please. Please do not smoke in the terminal building.
Do not smoke in the terminal.
Smoking is only permitted in the specified smoking areas. Thank you. Sayın yolcular, lütfen terminallerdeki sigara içme yasağına uyunuz. Sadece işaretlerle gösterilen bölümlerde sigara içilebilir. Teşekkürler.
I'll click on New Airport now. Just to take a caveat, this is an early access game, and therefore this tutorial, which kind of replaces the rather poor tutorial that they give you, because it kind of helps you but doesn't at the same time. Well, there we go. Right, the first things first is that you put in your face. You can either be male or female. You can have one of two hairstyles, which are basically the same hairstyle mirrored. I have black hair, even though the missus says it's probably grey. That's my black hair. Skin colour is a little bit darker. I do have blue eyes. I have a cuter nose than that. There, that's a cute nose. And of course I can have a really stupid big smile, or let's be really happy. No beards, so it's not quite me. And then I'm going to go for there. So I'm going to Saz, no beard face. There we go. Right, now you can go anywhere you want to place your thing. Seeing as I'm in the UK, we'll go there. Now I live around Birmingham. I live in a place called the Black Country, which is, the capital is Dudley. We speak quite funny right there. So we're going to go to that location there, and we're going to call it Dudley Airport. Let's call that. Now, the other thing about being in Black Country, one of the nicknames that we have for ourselves is Yam Yam. That's basically because we say Yawam, that you are. So it's supposed to Yam Yam. So the 3-letter code is going to be Yam. Now, most of the people from the Black Country will probably appreciate this a lot more than anybody from Japan or so forth, who've been noticed have been on my watching my YouTube videos. Thank you very much. Get into that. But yeah, it is very funny. Trust me. So let's launch. Dear Saz, thank you for our last meeting, and I hope you like your new digs. I know it isn't much, but hopefully you'll do better than the last person who tried to build our town's proud airport. You've got a lot of work ahead of you, so you better get to it. I can't give you any tips because I don't really know how to run an airport, but let me remind you that you have a budget to keep, and we count on you to get this place making a profit. Good luck, and we'll talk soon, I hope. Or, well, my people will send you a message. Here's the most important things you need to know. Number 1. Press Tab to open and close the management panel. Here you will find everything about the management perspective, such as economy, staffing, purchasing new products, operations, and more. This is your control panel. Number 2. Use the manuals panel for guided instruction on how to build an airport. It can be pretty difficult, so this might be of great assistance. Number 3. Press F1 for tips on how to interact with the UI and move about the screen. That's all. Best of luck to you. Best regards, Grigor Farnsworth, Mayor. P.S. I've sent this message to your inbox as well, so you don't need feel too lost. Good luck! Right, so you get all this information down here, but let's just go past there, and first things first is we're going to pause the game. And this is the area of which you have an X there, and an X there, and an X there. I suspect that in future areas you should be able to actually expand your airport, take over like Heathrow has. But this isn't Heathrow, this is Dudley Airport, and we're going to do things the proper Black Country way. So first things first, proper planning prevents poor in performance. It's the P's. So now the game will try to get you to sort your terminal out first, which I think is possibly the worst thing that you could do, because it's all about the runway. So here's a runway, and that's done. Okay, so as we can see, blueprints are down. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to put in some small stands. Now I'm going to measure out to about dither, a bit more maybe, there, and I'm going to start putting loads of small stands. Now the reason I'm doing this is because what we plan to do is spend the money to get the airport functioning first and making money. So when you have it making money, then you have less of an issue with expanding your area. So that's the important point. Now the taxiway foundation is another thing that's important. Now you'll see 27 to 60, I believe it goes from the lower number to the higher number. So the planes are going to come in this way, taxi round there, come there, and then head off this way. So what we need is a little bit more area here, because we need to do stopping points. I'll explain that in a bit, but let's put a little bit there. Oops. And a bit there, and a bit there. So now what we've got there is we've got the taxiway that comes in to there, and it's now connected to all these small stands. The next item that we want to do is we want to build slightly further out here, slightly further up. Let's do that. Don't really want it directly underneath. There we go. Now, so that's effectively our runway area. Now, the next thing we need, believe it or not, is a checkpoint. So we'll put the checkpoint right. Actually, we don't have to do that just there, do we? We can put it about there. Let me bring this service road or public road up a bit. Okay. I will need to do a little bit there. So let's put the public road a bit further up here. This is for expansion. I'm just keeping an eye on what you need for expansion. And then we want to put our checkpoint here. Then a service road here. Okay. So that's us pretty much ready. Now it gets a little bit more complicated, because you have to start bringing in contractors and procurement. So the first thing we want to do is we want to start looking at our contracts. As you can see, there's two different types of people who are exactly the same. So we'll go for that one, and you just sign the contract, and off you tot. The other thing is trust me on this one, you'll need some board members. Board members. It's always fun. Employees, board. You want a procurement director, okay? And then you want to apply. For some strange reason, the game, obviously because it's new, it's only giving salaries claims, so per hour. Now the other important thing is everything is done in per hour, which means every time that clicks onto the new hour, money gets taken away out from there. So you want to get into a position where you can be making a positive mark on your hour, and that will increase it. If it goes to red and negative, it will take money away. So now we've got our procurement director. What we want to do is just play it for a little bit so that we make sure that they've got them in there, and press the tab again to bring out the thing, and we want the contracts, and the procurements should now be open. Now if we didn't have your procurement manager, that would causing an issue. Now what we want to do now is we want this avgas fuel, which is GA aircraft. Okay, so this means that all we want to do is do not have the requirements for this product. Oh right, okay, so first things first, I need to build. So let's get our people there and get this this place built up. The other thing we need as well is a items. Is it items or is it structures? Yeah, we need a vehicle depot, which we will put here. You use the middle mouse button to turn things, and we also need a small ATC, which I can fit up here. Now, what we're doing here now is we are getting people in. So I'm going to fast forward it. As you notice, all the money's now gone down. This is all the different costs. You have to be quite careful with your builders, because they'll, if you use them, if you don't, they still charge you per hour. As you can see, they're now building the taxiway. And whilst we're doing that, what we can do is we can upgrade these to asphalt. Now, fortunately, you have $2 million to start with, so that does make things a little bit easier for you building new infrastructure. Now, I mean, the general thing is if you don't get too greedy too quickly, you're okay. Now, the reason I've got so many stands here is because general areas or general aircraft, they actually get you quite a bit of money, and the more you can the more that you can get in, the more money you make, and then the more money. Upgrade to asphalt. There we go. Let's not build any battery lights just yet. Upgrade to asphalt. Upgrade to asphalt. Okay, now let's just pause it for a second, because we're now in a position, I believe, to go for the procurement contract. So let's try that now. Okay. So now we've got 5 hours and 59 minutes left. So we've got those bad boys in there. They're still building, and we can't get fuel until we get this contract sorted. So let's, as you can see from the procurement area, we've got 5 hours, and it'll then open up or unlock a fuel dump thingy for us. Right, while we're waiting still, what we can now do is go back to infrastructure, and we do the taxiway node, which is generally us deciding how this thing works. Now, seems to have gone invisible. No, the guy's been there, kind of giving it to me. Now the next thing you want to do is right click, and you want to put in a holding point. Now these holding points are quite important because they stop the aircraft from getting onto the runway. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 against 15 areas. Now some will be landing, some will be going. Now I'm going to put a couple of holding points here as well, because they might allow for planes to get out before they go in. As you may notice, it's got a bit dark. It's now night time. So, have we got everything that we need? Let's have a quick pause and look at the procurements. Yes, right. So the next thing we need to do, whilst we have people there, is structures, and we have a fuel depot. So we put the fuel depot opposite the vehicle, and I like to put a couple of fuel tanks in there because I like to be thorough. Now, the next thing is that should have opened up the service vehicles once. Yeah, it will open it up, should I say? So let me just undo that. And once they've built that, we can then send the people home, so they're not charging us for their time. So we'll go around it there. In the meantime, what we can do here is we can then set all these to general and open these stands up. Now you can do this with less stands. I'm just showing off here. Okay, now we've got everything built. So the two things we need to do first of all is send the contractors home, because we don't need them anymore. And then we want to go back to procurement and vehicles. And we should, I believe, there we go. Now I want to order 3 of them. So I've got 45 minutes. But now that the contractors are going home, we don't have to worry too much. So currently we've got nothing in there, but sooner or later we should have a fuel tanker. These are our fueling machines. Just turn the commercial off and open the runway. Now, we don't actually open the airport. The airport is still closed at the moment. You're going to be sending us any fuel anytime soon? So this is essentially it. This is the simplest way of getting yourself set up and getting used to it. Now the other thing to take into account as well is that with GA they don't fly after 12 o'clock at night, and they don't start again till the morning. Now this button here opens the GA panel, and this tells you if you should accept a plane or not. But the other option you can have, if I remember correctly, let me have a look at the operations, you can set to always accept GA. So if I open up the airport and always accept GA, every time a plane comes, as we have here.
Now, have you noticed up here, we've charged the plane for a landing fee, and now we've already made $143 for that hour. Now, if you want to check all your schedules, these are all the planes that are coming in, and this is the time that they'll be leaving. So you'll know that sometimes if you want to take control of the GA panel, you can time it so that you can have different arrivals coming in. Now, I'm going to request some extra. That'll be the reason why I haven't signed a contract with a fuel company. So that'll be why there's no fuel coming. So don't forget to sign a contract for your fuel as well. This guy's going to be waiting a while for his fuel. RAF Lakenheath. And he'll be leaving in 2 hours-ish. No, a bit more than that. How come we're coming in that way now? I'll never understand it. Okay, and here are our fuel trucks now. As you can see, airplanes coming down, and this pretty much is the way that you put together an aircraft thing. So just start off small, and the more airplanes that you get in, the more money you make. Hence why I have the 15 there. And the general idea is to try and make it as efficient as you possibly can. Now, other ideas are that you can have 2 runways. One that is, as you can see on here, you can actually put the runway operations to arrival and departure. So you could actually have 2 runways. One runway kind of that side and another runway that side. And effectively, that then feeds through to there, and then there's an exit runway that side. That's one way of doing it. There are, there's many different ways that you can do so. You can also then start experimenting with commercial flights, which I believe are the larger medium stands, which would be for commercial airports and stuff. So you would want to definitely need a terminal at that point, because that's when you start getting passengers. At the moment, all we're doing is just doing private aircraft, and we're just making money out of that. Now, the best thing is that you can just press the forward wind button on this one now, and you can just leave it to do its thing. You've already got a successful airport, so there is a certain amount of things that this game obviously needs. Now, I take it that the challenge is going to be when you've actually got more commercial aircrafts involved, but okay, that's quite curious. As long as nothing's crashing, that's fine. Right, so as you can see from there is a slight issue with the game, in as much as it doesn't have any consequences for it's early development. So you know this is obviously some bugs that need to be sorted by the developer. I'm wondering if it's because I haven't developed my... Bit of a traffic jam going on here, isn't there? Let's send these. Let's deploy them all. Or is it because I haven't connected that up correctly? There we go. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that you get the whole thing in one way. That's the reason why. So I can now get rid of dismiss all these guys here, and now we've got a bit more of an efficient runway. I think. I thought I had. Well, that's actually coming in the other way now. So I'm wondering. They're still going that way. Oh, I've got late planes, I think. So minus 800. Minus 800. I think I'm being charged for issues here. Okay. So, yeah. But that's effectively it. If you can get your pathway sorted out better than I have, then you can and get a few things sorted out there. I think the problem I might have had is I've either run out of fuel, or I haven't been fueling them up quickly enough. So I may need some more fuel trucks. So that's another thing. But there you go. That's a quick tutorial for you anyway. It's probably taken longer than I thought it would, but I hope that's helped you. If you like what you see, please press the like button. If you dislike it, please press the dislike button. But please give me a comment in the section. Tell me what you disliked about it. If you have a comment to make, pop it down and we can have a conversation. And if you like what I'm doing here at Number One Geek, then please subscribe. Thank you very much for your time, and I will see you later. Bye bye.